How's it going, guys? Odds and Ends RC here. Today we're going to talk about this Jeep hardbody I had laying around. I bought a few months back and finally decided to do something with it. This body comes in many different shapes, I guess. You can get it in a two-door Jeep, you can get it in a four-door Jeep, and then you can get it in this kind of truck four-door Jeep conversion. This body and the four-door Jeep body are actually the same body. It just has a few different things on it to make it look like the truck. There is a company that does Jeep to truck conversions. I can't remember the name right now, but if you look up a picture on Google, Jeep JK truck conversion, you'll see that it actually looks just like this thing. They actually did a pretty good job of making it look like that. You can get this body all over. You can get it off Amazon. You can get it off eBay. You can get it off Banggood. I believe I got this one off of eBay a couple months ago. It was about 70 bucks, which not too bad. I ordered a white one, and it came blue, so I guess that'd have to work. But it actually came painted. It actually has paint and clear coat on it. It's a decent job. There's a few runs in it here and there, but not too bad. And then this blue piece here, this cowling's kind of a shade different colored blue. Kind of hard to tell if it picks it up or not, but I guess it was painted with more layers of paint or something. For some reason, it's just a shade different. But it don't look too bad. I was pretty impressed with it. Because you figure if you buy a Lexan body, they're $40-50, and by the time you buy 2 or 3 cans of paint, you're going to have 70 bucks in it anyway, so I was pretty impressed with it. These are a little different than the two-door bodies. Those were actually meant for like a kid's RC toy, and it was everybody modifies them to fit, to use in the hobby grade. But these here, I think, were cloned off of those. They're a little bit lighter. I think the doors are the same, and pretty much from the door forwards the same, but they're just overall a little bit lighter. They're made a little bit different underneath, which I'll show you here in a little bit. But this is kind of my parts bin special. I have just a bunch of junk laying around, and I kind of decided to throw it together and make something out of it. And I wanted to be able to mount one of these on a SCX10 III chassis using the body post hose on the chassis. So I decided to figure out a way to do that, and I kind of show you what I did. I've seen a few other videos where they kind of do it, but the catch is this is supposed to be a 313 millimeter wheelbase body. And if you do that, it puts the front wheel too far back. This is more, to get this stance, this is more like a 330 millimeter, wheelbase, what I got going. And the reason you have to do that is when your suspension goes up and when your wheel turns, so your wheel's not jamming into your fender. I noticed a lot of other people that did a video on it, they don't show that, but you can tell their wheel will be jamming into their fender. So I had to move that axle probably over a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch forward to get it to clear the fender wells and look right. I got full suspension, with no rubbing. Works great. But keep that in mind. It's not just throw the body on it and be done. You will have to move that front axle forward for everything to work correctly. This is about its finished form. I've been working on the ride height and the suspension on it, but it'd be somewhere close to this, maybe a hair lower. Not sure yet. These are 105 millimeter tires, which I think they have about the right look for what I'm going for. You can go a little bigger too, but you know, you're gonna have to move your axle forward a hair. On the front, pretty standard up here. I have an old, I think it's maybe a deadbolt bumper. I can't remember, but that's kind of the look I was wanting for it. I'm gonna try to find it one about the same size in metal, because this is just a plastic one and this winch ain't gonna work out. The bumper's not gonna be strong enough to support the winch, but it's about the size and look I want for it. Again, when you buy these bodies, just like the two-door, the blinker lenses come red, so I soak it in rubbing alcohol, and all the red paint comes off, and then I paint them with the Tamiya clear orange. And then your headlight buckets, I paint them with the chrome pen to kind of give them a little more realistic look instead of looking black back inside of there. I did not go with portal axles. I bought this 10-3 chassis off of Marketplace. I got it and the transmission for $50, so it was used and kind of in rough shape, but it did not come with the axles, and I don't really care for the portal axles anyway, unless it's on like a Unimog or something like that. But I ended up working it out to where I just pull the clips out. All right, I'll show you something first though. This box that's in the bed, that box has to be there, because like I said, this is the same as the four-door body, and this is underneath this box is the back seat. They put this box here to hide the back seat bottom, so that box kind of has to be there. So I made pretty good use of it. I got my battery connections in there to where I don't have to take the body off to plug and unplug the battery in, and I just keep it hidden in there. I can charge it from there or whatever. It works out pretty good. I just kind of whittled this box to where I glued some rare earth magnets in it, so it will just kind of pop right into place like so. The box comes screwed together. You just take the screws out of it, and then you know you can probably put a hinge on it too if you wanted it to hinge open or something like that, but I just went with the magnets. Another thing about this body that's kind of weird is it has these roll bars on here, in which the picture of the one I looked up on Google, the real one, the real truck conversion one, actually has these also, but they don't in the top. They're just kind of stuck in there, and they could fall out if you twist on the body a little bit. So I'll probably drill a small hole and run a little pin through it or something to kind of lock it in place. But let me give you a shot at the bottom here. I have SSD Trail King axles under it, and they worked out pretty good. Just got some junk drive shafts on it for now. I got 90 millimeter King shocks in the front, and I have 80 millimeters in the rear. As you can see, it's got pretty good travel on it. But I pull the pins out here and take the body off. If anybody else has one of these and they did it a little different or better, let me know. But this is how I wanted to do it. I wanted to keep the factory pinholes so I can take the body on and off real easy. But like I said, the body just kind of lifts off just like that after you take the pins off. Things you'll have to do to make the body fit. Of course, I have mine kind of as low as possible because I don't want it to look like it has, you know, a big body lift on or anything like that. So if you have the factory 10-3 transmission, you see I got this hole cut here. you will have to cut out this hole to clear the transmission bell housing. Which wasn't that bad. Just take a Dremel or a hobby knife and kind of keep, whittling out, and test fitting it. And, keep cutting and cutting and cutting back and forth, on and off, until you get that to sit down on there and clear that. Get the ride height you want, and it clears. And of course your stock battery location won't quite clear. So I have this puffy 2200 pack here. I just have it velcroed in this where the seat slot is in the bottom of the body, and it fits perfect. It clears the chassis, works out perfect. And here in the seat bottom, I got these 3 little nubs cut out like that were over here, and my speed controller ESC kind of fits up in here nicely and clears that. But as far as the body post, these are just SCX10 II body post, and probably the top, I don't know, probably 3/4 of an inch of the shock tower. I just kept cutting that shock tower down and cutting it down until it fit back in this groove in there. Did a little whittling, a little sanding on it, and once I got it to where it fit down in there good, then I epoxied it in there. And I could still raise and lower these pins if I need to, but this is the height I was, wanting to keep the body at. So that's pretty easy in the back, as long as you have, some old 10-2 shock towers laying around. The front was a little bit more challenging. These are, I want to say they're SCX10 and 10-2 deadbolt body post, because they have this offset deal on the body post, and I had to use those because where I wanted to put the body post through the grill here, and that's the only way I could get it work out to do that. And I didn't want to glue the post to the body because I wanted to keep it to where I could still raise and lower the post if I needed to. So I just drilled a hole through the grill there. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's kind of a hole I drilled in the grill platform. There we go. And slid that post down in there. And I have a screw coming through the front of the grill there. You kind of see it up in there. Coming through the grill and through the body post and locking it in place. And then on the bottom where you can't quite see it, I have a grub screw going through one of the holes in the post and locking it under the plastic, if that makes sense. But that's my 4 body post, and once you set it down on the body, it's solid, doesn't go anywhere, works out good. The floor pan here ends up sitting about 1/8 of an inch lower than the side of the body, which is what I was going for. But it ain't too much work, if you're good at been in the hobby for a while and you can do a little bit of whittling and cutting, it's probably about, I don't know, hours worth of work, and you can have it fitting down on there. Now on the chassis, I wanted to keep the floorboards, and the wheel wells as much as I can, front wheel wells and all that, and it works pretty good. It's a little short in the front. I wish I would have came forward about another 1/4 of an inch, but since this was a used chassis, I wasn't worried about cutting it all up. I just kept cutting and refitting, until I got this to fit inside the body. I think I did trim off probably a little less than a 1/2 inch. It was too wide. And same with the front. There's some stuff I had to clear, I had to notch out for. Got it notched out and kept cutting off the side until I got the fit up in the body. In the back, since it had the truck bed on it, I had to cut off the top of the shock tower to fit under that truck bed, and just kept whittling it down. And I knew I didn't want the shock towers poking through the bottom of the bed, so I kind of had to do this. So I got it cut down to where it fits against the bottom of the truck bed, and when you got it up in there, it looks like a wheel liner. Since I got everything cut out the way I wanted it, since I had used parts, I'm going to go buy brand new wheel liners and floorboards and everything, and then I'll cut them up a lot nicer to make it look a little more factory. But it's just kind of the rough first draft. As far as electronics go, I just got the 1080 Hobby Wing 1080 ESC. I kind of use that and everything. It works out pretty good. Then I got a Holmes Hobby 20 turn motor in it, and a Cheap Power Hobby servo. I don't have quite all the electronics done yet. Still got to wire up the winch and find me a little box for the receiver and tuck in some wires and stuff like that. But it's getting there. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I was worried about the transmission being geared totally wrong since it was for portal axles. But, I mean, with these SSD Trail King axles and that motor, I think I have a 13 tooth pinion on it. It's perfect. It's geared just perfect, just the way I like it. Kind of like a fast walking speed and really, really slow crawl, but more than happy with it. Now this chassis, this was the 313 Jeep is what this chassis was. It wasn't the Gladiator truck, but it was the Jeep. So that's the chassis length you need to make this hard body work. You could probably make the truck one work too. I think if you shorten it, I think you can shorten them chassis, but this was the 313 Jeep chassis. But yeah, it's kind of work in progress. Once I get all the fender wells new and gets the ordered some nice drive shafts for it and stuff like that, probably make another video on it. But just kind of the progress I got so far. Probably get some lights on it and deck it out and put some details on the body and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's starting to get there. If you guys got any questions on one you're doing, let me know. Or if you guys got any suggestions if I could do anything different. Oh, another thing on this I forgot to add is you will have to put the servo, you'll have to buy a front mount servo mount, and you'll have to put the servo up front. Because when you extend this axle forward, like I said, I had to do it almost probably 3/4 of an inch. Where your servo used to mount doesn't work anymore. It's too far away, the arm can't reach. So what I did is also your pan hard bar mount won't work either. So I went ahead and I took that off. I made a new pan hard mount. If you can see it in there. Right here. And what that is a SCX10 II link mount off the axle. Where your links bolt to the axle. That is a link mount. I kind of whittled around on it. And your 2 bolt holes for your servo that used to bolt the servo up top there, they come down and they bolt into this. I got them to bolt into this link mount, and it worked out perfect for a panhard mount. Strong, it ain't gonna go anywhere. Kind of has a factory look to it, but with very little modification, you can make one of those fit in there. Of course, I had to play with the length of the links to get rid of all the bump steer and everything, since I had totally different geometry. But pretty close to getting it all out now. Pretty close on all the dimensions and everything. Other than that, that's about it. Just thought I'd make a quick video on the proper way to make one of these fit. You know, the main thing is spreading out your wheelbase, moving that front wheel forward so you can get your body clear to where your wheels and everything won't hit the fender wells and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it. I'll have some upcoming videos on it once I get her totally completed and dialed in. Getting close on the suspension. Been working on different shock spring settings and stuff like that, but about got her dialed in. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again in a later video. Bye.